Right, so here we are at the first lesson for Introduction to Project Management. You'll find that the next number of hours are just based on discussing what projects are and what the terminology is involved with it all. I've mentioned here, we're going to demonstrate an understanding of project management terminology, and it's part of the outcome one of the unit. So look at the terms, the concepts, and the methods. So project management is a formal and uses subscribed tools and techniques. Why do I just say it like that? Project management is a formal. A formal what? Is formal. There you go. It's not ad hoc, right? Ad hoc might be you just make up a plan that might not work. It's just a guess, and you just jump ahead and try and do it. But project management is actually looking at something, right, and approaching it with thought, right? So ad hoc means approaching it with no thought. The simple reason is that projects, they come in with timescales for completion and budgets for the finance. Now imagine someone said, yeah mate, I'll paint your fence, it'll cost you 100 quid, and I'll do it in 3 days. And then after 3 days they say, no mate, it's going to cost you another 200 quid and another couple more days. So that means if they come up with an ad hoc approach, they just guessed how much it might cost and how long it might take, right? You have to look at the concept of a project trying to come within the budget, so how much money you're going to spend, that's the budget, try and reach that amount or less, and also, importantly, stay within the timescales. If you say it will take a certain amount of time, you want to try and complete it within that time. So no one wants to complete a project that costs more than it should, and also they don't want to have it completed after the date it was due. It's like you receiving a package. Imagine you bought something off eBay and the package doesn't arrive on time. That would annoy you. Imagine how annoying it could be if there was a lot of money involved and a lot of people involved in the project. Unfortunately, there are many examples of projects worldwide that cost too much and took a lot longer to complete. The interesting thing is, the college has recently won a bid for £6 million to produce a thing called a STEM building, science, technology, engineering and maths. And it'll all be down to the people who deal with that project to see if they do it within budget and of course within the expected time. So there are some terms we will look at, and these terms are important because they're all related to your up and coming closed book exam assessment. Oh dear, shock horror. There's the terms there, and what I'll do is over the next bunch of videos I'll go over some of the terms, right? I'll read some of the stuff I've said here in the document, but I might add in some pieces of my own as well. So there's lots of terms to look at there. The first term says project. So the question is, what is project? So projects are different from other areas of work, right? They're identified by having a few specific, let's say unique features, different from more conventional operational processes. Conventional processes tend to be repetitive in nature. For example, if you're working in manufacturing, the process may consist of repeating something. So for example, repeating the production of goods. So a place that builds TVs, repeat the process for those TVs again and again, because they're mass producing the same thing. Same with cars, they repeat the process, just repeat it again and again until all the cars are created. Same with making food or assembling parts of food, right? Making paints and things like that. In the case of the service industry, the production of services such as hairdressing, hotel accommodation, bars, clubs, restaurants, all these things involve something similar. There's a lot of repetition, right? Such as purchasing things, selling things, handling financial accounts, dealing with stock control systems. But again, a lot of these things repeat. The goals of these establishments are usually based around increasing their sales figures over a period of time, such as a year, or improving their efficiency and effectiveness in a range of systems in an attempt to lower the cost of production in order to ward off competitors and improve profitability. Even looking at the place you're in just now inside this college does something that is very operational in process. At the beginning of the year, we advertise the fact we have courses. People approach us and we chat to people and find out if they're suitable for the course and if they want to do the course as well. That generally involves checking qualifications and finding out if you actually are interested. Then, of course, you came to college and you're given units, and each unit has assessments and over all these lectures. So as you see, it's like an operation that's happening, right? Obviously, in lectures, I can't repeat myself too well. Hey, I'm making a video, though, that helps. So I might say something slightly different each time, but I'll try and get the same sort of meaning across, right? So we're very operational. And of course, what do we want at the end of the day? We want you to succeed, but the college also wants to make sure to receive money for your success. And that's how that part of it works, right? So projects are different, right? On the other hand, they're quite different in the fact that they're not as repetitive, right? It's usually a unique one-off operation. Maybe someone did a project once and then do another project that's similar, but not exactly the same. Usually have an agreed budget. These budgets can be different each time a project's actually done. So some sort of cost is attached to them, and there's a specific starting point and usually a clearly defined finishing point, right? Now, I've been watching a show on television. It's on the last episode now in BBC Two, and it's all about creating a super sewer in London. Now, I know it sounds boring, but I was quite interested in watching it. And they basically started 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, it involved geologists who would examine the bedrock underneath London by drilling lots of boreholes to find out what's down there, right? So it's much deeper than they usually go. So lots of rock and different types of rock, and these different types of rock can affect when you're drilling out holes. So the idea was to make some super sewers to take away a lot of the poo, which is currently emptying itself out into the Thames, and make London a bit cleaner as well, right? Now that was 10 years ago the geologists started. Only a few years ago they started digging big holes to go into the ground, and that took a couple of years to complete. And at the moment, they're just finishing it off. It's taking them another year or so to then complete the actual sewer tunnel that goes along horizontally, and it takes all the poo away and whatever else is down there, right? Now that project's a massive project involving many millions of pounds, many thousands of people, and you have to ask yourself, it does sound like a one-off project, creating a massive super sewer that's never been built before, right? So that's an idea of a project. So some things that can identify a project and show they're unique. They are an instrument for change. So they make something different happen, something new. For example, the STEM building will give the college access to all these new facilities, and they'll be able to start doing some interesting things as well, I reckon. Just like the super sewer, it gives people the option to not have poo floating about in the Thames and things like that. They have a specific and unique goal or outcome. They're usually a one-off activity and not a routine. They'll have a defined starting date, of course, and a finishing date. They'll have a well-defined and clear budget to work within. They'll be composed of interdependent activities. That means when you do something, it may have to be done first before the next thing happens. Or maybe certain things have to happen at the same time. They'll be carried out by people who normally don't work together. You know, these people may be contracted out because they've got a special skill to do in a certain project. And again, you're uncertain, right, about what's involved in it for the degree of risk. Obviously, the super sewer, they need to try and keep it within their budget and their time, because people will be annoyed that they're taking up all this time and land to try and do this, and all these resources, right? Risk as well is involved in their project, because obviously it's very dangerous to be drilling under the ground so far down that it could easily flood. And in the last episode of Watch, they talked about pockets of water that have been down there for millions of years, and that could easily cause some sort of pressurised flood, which is very, very dangerous down there. Again, they have machines and tools to deal with that, so that's a bit risky as well. So that's the idea of a project. Examples of projects might be making a new